And we're rolling. Action.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Loth. Today I'm going to show you how to correctly adjust your spine line pillow. The first thing you want to do when you get your pillow is determine which side of the pillow that you'll be sleeping on. Now typically if you're 5'7" and taller, you're going to be sleeping on the larger side, which is labeled by the logo here. If you're smaller, you're going to be sleeping on the smaller side over here. That's not set in stone. You want to sleep on the side that keeps you in the best posture, but is also still comfortable as well. So the first thing you want to do is if you sleep on your side at night, you're going to be using the two outside chambers to sleep on the pillow. So what I'll have you do is you're going to lay down on the side, and I'm going to have Christy demonstrate here. Christy, go ahead and lay on your side here on this outside chamber. And as you see her, her head's tilted up a little bit. The optimal position to lay on the side of the pillow is to have your forehead, nose, chin, and sternum all on the same plane. So I'm going to show you how to adjust this pillow to get her to fit it correctly to her posture. Go ahead and sit for me, please, for a second. So what I'm going to do is, first off, flip it over. And on the back, you see each of these zippers. You can access the fill on the back of the pillow. So for her, the fill was too thick and it was propping her head up. So I'm going to move some of the fill out to the other side of the pillow to allow her head to fall down into that correct posture. So I'm going to reach in here and just slide the fill down and just adjust it. And then re-zip it back up. And we're going to see how that looks. Now, Christy, go ahead and lay right there again on your side. Let's see how that looks. Now, as if I look here, I can see that her forehead, nose, chin, and sternum are all on the same plane. And as long as she has enough support up underneath her neck, which that part of the pillow is supposed to provide, then she's in correct sleeping posture. Now, as you go through this, you can make changes for a little bit of time until you get to a point where you're keeping this correct posture, and also you feel the optimal amount of support up underneath your neck. Now, if you're a back sleeper, go ahead and sit for me for a second, Christy. You're going to be using the center portion of the pillow. So, Christy, go ahead and lay on your back here in the center portion of the pillow and see how that looks. The goal is when you're laying on your back is to be able to have your head, or I should say the top of your face, flat and parallel to the ceiling. So what happens here is I see her face, it's tilted just a little bit. Most pillows on the market, all the ordinary pillows actually, will push your head even further forward than what this does. But this is not optimal, so I'm going to adjust this as well to allow her head to fall back to the center of the pillow. Christy, go ahead and sit for a second. So the same thing is I'm going to go to the back of that middle chamber, unzip that, and we're going to take some of that fill, and we're going to actually maneuver the fill from the inside and put a little bit more support up underneath the neck. And you can also maneuver the fill up underneath the neck area too if you want more a firmer feel or a little bit more support up underneath the neck. Every person's going to be a little bit different when they start, but as you start to go, you want to get as much support underneath your neck as possible, also maintaining that correct sleeping posture. So as I maneuver this, all I'm doing is shoving the fill up underneath that outside portion of the pillow here, so it's going to give her more support, removing a lot from the inside portion here. Zip it back up. Okay, Christy, on your back again for us, please. Now as I look at her here, much better. Her face is completely flat, parallel to the ceiling. And that's the optimal posture that you should have when you're sleeping on your back on the spinal line pillow. So those are the two ways to adjust the spinal line pillow for both back and side sleeping positions. Hopefully this allows you to get to the best position possible. And once again, I want to emphasize that as you start to make changes and get into this correct sleeping posture, you may notice that you may have a little bit of soreness, some aches and pains, because you're doing something a little different than you've done before. Most people that go to this pillow haven't been sleeping with correct posture. The analogy that I typically use, it's like going to the gym for the first time. When you lift weights for the first time, you typically are a little sore. Same concept when we're making changes here when it comes to sleeping in correct posture. Most people will actually adapt very quick, but for those of you that don't, just understand it may take a little bit of time to get you to adapt to correct sleeping posture.